as our forefathers and our foremothers, Assalam, Islam, all Sufyan. We open in the name of the All Fatiha, according to the All Sufyan, and the 10 plus 1. Love and wisdom to all. This is what we're going to need more now than ever. It's something you haven't heard a lot of, but it's a beautiful word that has a meaning behind it that can change anyone's life who applies. And that word is wisdom. That word wisdom carries over from ancient traditions of truth, systems of truth. And so there's been a large decline in right knowledge. So we're going to restore some of this painstaking knowledge. Because it's one thing, if you're really not a scholar, you really don't know.
You really don't.
And the things we think we know is not true. You find out more and more as you study and seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. We're going to start off where everybody has been directed to, and that's money. To be rich, to be rich, to be rich.
Nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters to those who have been trained with a concept of success. Not from divine order, but from wrong information. So we're going to start this off with number 13 in considering riches. Number 13, riches are found not from an abundance of animals, servants, and land, but from an educated mind. Now, for all beings, our richness is not found on earth, as it's always been told. Our riches is found through us educating our own self. Now, how is one going to get an educated mind when you already think you have an educated mind? These are things that we've been tricked to perceive as success. So we have in our divine instructions that riches is not the form that we've been given as an image. But this image is actually imageless these riches has nothing to do with the earthly world. It has to do with you understanding yourself and the afterlife. And this is called an educated mind. Now, our ancestors, this is why we got to understand your mother, your great grandmother, your great great grandmother, your father, your great great father, your great grandfather, 7 generations before you. This has been a painstaking battle. It was one thing all of their children, all of the parents told their children is they wanted them to have a good education.
Yeah.
That falls right in sync with an educated mind. And to give us a good education, our ancestors would talk about Christ. Our ancestors attended churches for many generations.
Man.
Our ancestors paid a lot of blood, flesh, and sweat to a lot of these churches. And we're talking families and generations of families. Because something that the church was offering that we must understand that our ancestors knew was something of a good education. So when we was introduced to going to church, when we was introduced to going to learn about Jesus, this was their way without having many access to today's database. Our ancestors did not have access to the knowledge that their offsprings have today. So in the time period that they was in, as they say, they did the best with what they had. And the best of what they had was what? The Bible. Most parents, grandparents, great grandparents on up always made sure their offspring had a Bible or a Bible near, or some interaction with the Bible, with a church, with hearing words coming out of the Bible, and then one day you getting gifted your own Bible. These was our ancestors' ways of giving us a good education with what they had. They didn't have internet. They didn't have computers. They didn't have books. A lot of them, some of them couldn't even read. So they was hoping that maybe you could read. So they brought you the Bible. So maybe you can read. And these are things that we have to keep in mind because we have came a long way. We have don't it could destroy us. The thing that we know we could do from 7 generations ago, and that's knowing how to read. A majority of the offsprings know how to read. With this great gift of knowing how to read, being able to be passed down for you to be able to read and educate your mind. So we was told ain't nothing better than a good education. Now, if we was young, we didn't know what a good education was. We had to grow up. But they was instilling in us is something in this world called a good education. So they knew riches were in education. And education would lead to an educated mind. So this is why we have to understand now that our parents from 7 generations ago have given us something called being a Christian. Called being a Christian. Now, to us, being a Christian was following Jesus. Later on, it became, more and more the worship of a man named Jesus. So now we have to understand, why did our ancestors give us something back in the day called Christ or being a Christian? You will hear all your ancestors say, I'm a Christian. Because a Christian had a great education. Now, being young, you may not know none of those things, but as you grow by reading your Bible, you'll be able to educate and understand what's going on. So we gotta keep in mind that what our ancestors was introducing us to was a good education. Now, our ancestors, remember, they didn't have all the tools. They had the handy tools, the material tools. But the educational tools, we had the Bible and the Bible only. Bible and dreams and vision and God and us. That's how we was going to find from everything else. But now time has passed, and now tools are more accessible for people to use and to learn if they can read. This is a beautiful time to be alive if you can read. Because now you have access to things that your ancestors did not. And they would love to be thriving in this situation that you are in right now. And that's why they gave birth to you to thrive and to take on this good education and take it to its highest plane. Now, what our ancestors didn't know in the past, of our 7 to 10 generations past, is that the same thing they were introducing us to as saying being Christian was the same thing as being Islam. The Christian of our ancestors didn't know that a Christian and Islam was once one and the same. So the way they was given, as if it was different. Because if you know through reading your Bible, the word Islam is not in the Bible. So This is what we mean by a good education. The same word that we've been given our whole life to live, to thrive, to understand our relation to our Creator, to live a long life on earth, and all the honor to all mothers and fathers. These was Christian principles. These was Christian values. But we also didn't know that these was Islam values. These was Islam principles. So we only had one side of the story. So we never heard of Christ and Islam. We know Christ as connected to Christian. We don't know any form of Christ connected to Islam. So this is why without scholarship, you would not know this. And especially if you do not read the Bible entirely, or if you do not read the Quran entirely, you would not know that Islam and Christian is the same. So instead of Christians understanding Islam, this is where all the muckiness has to be cleaned up. Christians was told that branches come from Christianity. And there's a difference between Islam and Christianity. So this has been what has wiped everybody out. They divided the same people with two different ideologies, making them think they are opposing one another, and that one is rejecting the truth and one is rejecting the truth and the other is rejecting the truth, while the other poses as the one, when both of these are one in the same word, one in the same belief, in its origin and its root, prior to Christianity. And so this is what has to be brought to the table, as we say, because documentation beats conversation. So I'm here documenting this in conversation. So as we conversate, we're going to bring in the documentation to free your mind. Because these understandings, you are coming upon a time that you're going to need these teachings more now than ever. Because I don't know if you know that you're in a burning house. Martin Luther King told you that, but I don't ever know if y'all got out of it. This system will be crashing. Your monies, your cars, your access to city life is getting smaller every day. And if you don't understand that the system you under, they may be calling themselves Christians, but they are not Christians. They have built a false way, a broad and wide way, propping up as Christian, but in the name of Christianity, is teaching a whole different doctrine. So the ancestors that we know that was talking about the Christ we know, that Christ connects to Islam. The Christ that we know today does not connect to Islam. It connects to Christianity. And Christianity does not connect itself to Islam. So this is very key. So for the people who never read the entire Bible, the greatest thing today will be revealed and documented for your eyes. Make sure. So as we grow forward, this has to be understood that Islam or Christian as one and the same word. To understand this is to free and liberate your own self. Now, if you don't receive it through this documentation, there's nothing else I can do. When it comes to your mind, everyone is on their own. And when you know you have an educated mind is when you live it. This all got to do with living, how you live, living the truth. Because you cannot speak stuff only when you have respect, knowledge, and science. Other than that, you're not going to get anywhere. Because if that's the case, we would know the origins of the Bible. If you ask most people today, the origin of the Bible is not clear. The Bible has an author. Nobody has known this author. And why it's so important? See, because this is what changed the whole history of why you don't know Christian is Islam. So the whole point of this history, it was to usurp the whole of Islam, open opposite counter. It is called Christianity. Taking true accounts of something, but making it from their own interpretation. So sort of like a movie based on a true story. This is what King James Bible is. So we're going to get into a little of these unknowns about the King James Bible. Article 1:3, King James Bible, Canon 6:5-3. Most people heard of the King Version, known as the Authorized Version, commonly known as the King James Bible, first published in 1611, then subsequently significantly modified and re-edited in later editions. The King James Bible, the Authorized Version, is a pseudo-Christian Bible. So the whole time that we've been given the book, most of the books that we was given was the King James Version. The King James Version is a pseudo Christian Bible, meaning it's not real. That's not its origin. So now it was an authorized version for a reason. The person who authorized it knew it was a pseudo-Christian Bible. But somehow they needed the people to believe it was the truth. And this is how it became known as the Word of God. See, and this is important because this is dealing with your spiritual faith. The whole understanding of what we was given as Christ was being converted, modified, and the original text was being disturbed by these groups of spirits in bodies that want to use indigenous people to control them. And they know that these indigenous people are God-loving people. So they wrap up a gift that is very godly, but with inside this godly gift is some modified and re-edited understandings that would lead any believer astray by now developing and growing into Christianity. When the whole time you're supposed to have been growing in the way of Islam. So as we get into a little more history, the pseudo-Christian Bible, the King James Authorized Version, is based on combining three disparate sets, three different sets of sacred texts into one book. Three different texts into one book. Now, what this sounds like? This sounds like the understanding you was taught in Christianity about a Trinity. There's three pseudo books that was converted into one book. And in Christianity, you are to worship the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost of Spirit. This is called a Trinity, and this Trinity is a fusion combining three sacred texts into one book. The first one, wholesale corruption of the bibliography. The bibliographon, first officially published by Constantine in 326 CE. This is what the Bible is based upon. The construction of a book that Constantine put together called bibliography. This was in 326. The second part is called the infamous and unholy Septuaginta of the Roman Code of Judaism. See, you don't even know where the King James come from. This is where the King James come from. God did not put this book together. Constantine put this book together. The Roman code of Judaism by the Emperor Lucifer put this book together. This was from 71 CE. So if you understand timelines, 71 is before 326. So Jewish or Judaism was prior to Christianity. Christianity wasn't on the scene until Constantine. Christianity wasn't on the scene till 326 CE or AD, which means it was a lot of years before 326. What was people doing? What was people following before this book was put together? So in 71 CE, you have the Judeans around, but you have no Christianity around. So this is why in the Old Testament it's Jewish or Jews or a talk of Israel and Israelites. But no, all this is Lucifer from the 71 CE, which predates Christianity. So later, when you know that Christianity combines itself as Judeo-Christianity, now you know why. The last part of the book is the Talmud of the Sabbath. The Sabbath, also known as Satan, of the Persian Aryan Empire from the 3rd century. So if you can't read by now, hopefully you can hear it by now. This has nothing to do with the God of the universe. This is a construct put together by evil people. That is creating a whole new world religion before you get into your time period of the 2000 where Christianity is up. Everybody calling themselves a Christian with no connection with Islam. So this is very important to understand. And we ain't done yet. The main features of the King James Bible as reflected in other publications by the Venetian Protestant movement. See, all these things was hand created for your people and offspring. You didn't create Protestant, but you might be part of a Protestant. You didn't create Baptist, but you may be a part of Baptist. You didn't create Methodist, but you may be a part of Methodist. You didn't create the Church of Christ, but you may be a part of Church of Christ. You didn't create church, but you may be a part of church. See, this is going on in a time period where our people didn't have our hands on none of these understandings And these people who had their hand in it printed these books and gave it worldwide. This is how the printing press became worldwide, and now everybody got a Bible in their home. But this is where we got to go deeper. Why everybody has a Bible in their home, but no one's problem ain't fixed worldwide. This is a burning house that you must immediately get yourself out of once you become aware. We're going to continue. The insertion of the Septuaginta as part of the Old Testament. So now we have the inclusion that the book of Lucifer that was in 71 CE, this became the Old Testament. When this became the Old Testament, when you're reading the Old Testament, you are reading a corruption of the original Christian teachings. The original Christian teachings consider the books you're reading out of the Old Testament is considered the most unholy works. See, this is why dirty, evil people are telling you what to do. And you don't get it yet. This has to do with God and a book. These teachings remember, what is another word for Christian? Islam. So when they are corrupting original Christian teachings, these are original Islam. They're corrupting Islam, taking it out of the Old Testament, replacing Islam with Israel, and now you got a whole Jewish compilation. So this is why there's Islam practices in it, but the word Islam is not there as if it didn't exist prior to Judaism. The word Islam is older than a Christianity, older than a Jewish Judaism. This is the oldest, first, the beginning of all teachings, what we call Christ. The Christian teachings. Now, the next one, number 2, the creation of the Gospels. Now, how many people have known to get their story of Christ from the Gospels? See, all this is not the true original teachings. See, to have the true original teachings, you have to have the Christ that pulls you into Islam. And the complete understanding of this. So now the Gospels, known as the four synoptic Gospels, are creations. They're not original. The creation of the Gospels, including the Gospel of the Wolf, you know, as Luke. As us, talking as us, living by something we really live to control the world.
In the Testament, in the Bible. And now that you revealing here crystal clear how it all got started, it can't get no bit sweeter than this. Yeah. I mean, you in it plain as day how it all got started. And you don't have to wonder no more because it's being revealed how Paul came on the scene. The Bible don't speak of this like that. And I see why now, because there's been a re-edification and a revival of everything. And now I'm seeing why so many people being killed by the pistol, because when you see the epistle, and they get off the pistol, and they make it call it law, he never and we know, and they murder the last week, and he
You think, most people think that they're your government.
That's right.
These people are imposing, to me, it's sounding to myself when I begin to speak about it, that it's known to us. You know that these people are apostles. You know you done dealt with them so long, you know they don't. But you don't know how they own your land or how they still own this power. This is the interesting part. It's through the Bible. People don't know who the Antichrist is. They read all about it. He owns your land.
Yes, indeed.
You got his book. You worship his God.
Yes, indeed.
So now we talking about when you put Antichrist and you reverse the spelling, it's Christianity. Paul created Christianity, which is the broad and the wide way. This is why you can sin and grin. This is why most people sinning and grinning. Because of Paul and Christianity. It's the open broad way where you can do what you want, do what you will. Because you got the spirit of Jesus Christ coming to save you when you don't know what that truly is. So Paul, the whole New Testament is made up. The whole Old Testament is made up. Both of these does not contain the original gospel teachings of Christ. Because Christ taught Islam. So none of the Old Testament and the New Testament teaches Islam, which means it doesn't teach the original way. So now let's get into some of these symbols we used to hear, because now you're going to have residue of these concepts. Like, did he die for all our sins? Did he resurrect? See, these the plaguing concepts now that's going to be the leftover residue that you got to get out and remove through knowledge and wisdom yourself if you are God. The military symbols of crucifixion, blood sacrifice, these are military Mithraic symbols. So Mithraic or military, we know in truth, their true name is Umayyad. Any police force, any military, they are part of a Umayyad. That's why you have it called a sheriff. That's part of an Umayyad. These are part of the Antichrist, people against Islam. Christ is Islam, and these people are Antichrist, are anti-Islam. It's why they don't teach you Islam. But they give you this resurrection story. See, that's how the military keep their soldiers. That's why the military keep growing. Because it's called rising from the dead. It's an old Osiris mythology. What they gave the fake Antichrist. The fake Christ, they made him rise to the dead, which is a dead spirit of Lucifer. This has nothing to do with the one and divine creator. So there's no such thing as a crucifixion. That's all fiction. There's no such thing as Jesus died for your sins. Remember, these people killed him, not he willingly died. Just understand that none of that blood and wine, bread and body, and up to the crucifixion and the resurrection, all that is mythology, fiction, and all to crucify us. This is why we are suffering as Black people, because we don't read. So all you do is believe what your grandma and your great grandmother told you. And with all this knowledge out, they will be begging for you to be reading. Because this is the stuff that has to come clean to make us pure. See, now the conversion of the sacred name of the divine in Christianity. See how the Antichrist made a word to shift the people from Israel as the name of God. AWA, they changed that to God. So they changed the divine word, you. Check it out now. The divine word, you, to God. This is why you take yourself out, and now the only thing important is the false God. The word to confuse the true understanding of what God is. And in the old original Christian text, before being changed, God was you. This is not an Antichrist. Took this over. So in Islam, you know, but not in Christianity. It's blurry. They don't have you as the divine. It has a name of divinity that is Jesus Christ, not you. See, this is a big difference. So the Antichrist created their God, their false God. And this is what everybody right now is worshiping. So the similarity of all King James Bible in comparison to all other Bibles claimed as non-Protestant or derived from other authors is due to the KJV being the template for revising all Bibles. Good. So this is why they all free, not free in the sense of free, but in the sense of everywhere you can find a Bible, hotels, bookstores,
That's right.
because they done gave them a template. Now, when they edit it, everything is edited from this KJB, the Antichrist template, including the Catholic Bible. When we say all Bibles, no Bible left out.
That's right. All.
That's not our holy book. That's the Antichrist holy book. We say unholy book because it done tricked us.
That's right.
It is not the word of God. That's the word of the false God.
Put them all in motels. Everywhere you go, you stop at one. Pull out the drum, you find it. And that's another trap.
Yes. The King James Bible is not the word of the divine. So this is why it's so important to understand how this came to be. Now sit back and think on that for a moment.
Yes, indeed.
Because we need some space to let that soak in.
Yeah, let that marinate a little bit. You like to marinate your meat.
Right.
You marinate your book a little bit.
Right. So we're gonna breathe. We're gonna step back for a minute.
and we can't deny this. Who brought us the book? I know this for a fact. When I was growing up, I saw who brought the book. We had the land for a fact, and they come with the book. And somehow or another, Tricky Dick set up him a constitution, and you rewind up with the Bible, and he got the constitution and took the land. And that's a fact. Can't nobody deny that right now. And I just read just a half a decade ago that the government owned over 60% of the land. I mean, the facts are there. What more you need to see? You have amnesia. Keep on teaching something. Because I'm enjoying it.
Isn't this groundbreaking? Isn't this groundbreaking?
Boy,
Bump just conversation. We have documentation.
All the facts. As the old saying, the proof is in the pudding. All you banana pudding lovers.
So this whole time we've been thinking that the Bible is the word of the divine creator.
Everybody else too. Let the cat out of the bed.
Now this from the actual words, from the word of the divine creator. Number 10, the highest form of right a man may be given to the word of the divine creator is the right to teach the way of Islam and protect the sacred word.
Beautiful. Beautiful. The highest, not the lowest.
The highest form of right. Now you tell me who's been teaching that. This is what the divine creator word says.
That's right.
The divine creator only deal with the way of Islam. That's the way he created for all humanity, for the people. That's why the word divine creator is not even in the Bible. Because we was talking about the American Constitution. It offers rights. The word of the divine creator offer. So what man gonna take? Because this is female and male's choice. What they gonna be? Are they gonna become men and women? So the divine creator? Or just tricks and holes for the players that play? For the players club. That's what all the rulers are, pimps.
They are.
Players. Playing. Hitting your woman on the side, buying things.
Come on with it. Come on with it.
This is what the society has deemed as successful. Women even claim value to men that has money.
That's correct. Come on with it.
Not that can teach.
Don't want him.
Not that have the living word.
Don't want him. Can't do nothing but it.
These are the things that we've been tricked by. Sports and play, the amusement. Why are we not getting these divine teachers? So he yet. So now let's show you something. Make it start seeing. This is where duality came from. So when you watching TV and you just seeing duality, dualism, things dueling, like sports, everything dueling. See, this is Antichrist.
Look at that.
See, the Antichrist claimed duality of the universe. The Antichrist lost faith in the divine creator. The Antichrist cursed all gods. And who, upon gaining their freedom, split into governmental positions with formal priests and scribes beginning to worship lesser gods, demons, and spirits. See, so there's no such thing as a duality. It's how our holy book tells us. What fool and coward sacrifices his son or daughter to please a demon? This is why parents must know that I just hope you did your children the best that you would have done for yourself. Because anybody who throwed away the children of God that please a demon, you got you got your own illness you got to deal with.
Right on. I just sense you made that so plain as day. The NFL draft last night, that's what that was about. Our parents and the sons and the daughters were there, just to be pleased to be drafted, just to play for the demons. Because there's duality right there, because what they're gonna do is pit one against another. I mean, it don't get no sweeter than this, teacher son.
That's a love from the Lord. That's love from the Lord. That's what's happening.
That's right.
Pleasing the demons.
The demons. The owner. Same one enslaved them forefathers.
And then if you ask them, who do you believe in? You ask them same people who pleasing demons, who they believe in. You'll be stoked with their response.
That's right.
They will say they believe in Jesus Christ.
I heard that. They said it last night.
Did you?
Yeah. They Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
See what I'm saying? We can't make this up, especially not in real time today.
I mean,
Back in the days, we could have made this up, but not now. So now let's read number 12. Christians who worship Jesus Christ as a God are in error. This is against the teachings of Allah. See, this is very important right here. Because as I was saying, everybody that please a demon, their God who they worship is Jesus Christ.
That's right.
This is cold-blooded science that you can't eradicate. They are in workings, knowingly or unknowingly, with the Antichrist, the false God. See, this is the false prophet. This is the false God. Remember, he turned into a prophet, then he turned into a God. And then is killed.
Yeah.
Now, you ever tell me that the God that your great-great-parents told you about, was that God invisible or visible? See, and this is how Christ became man and man became God. See, for original people, God is invisible. God can't come down and die. You have to be visible.
That's right.
I don't know how many people is even knowing what they're doing when they are worshiping Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
First of all, they are calling this Antichrist God. They saying the true God of the whole entire universe, the creator of existence, can be killed, hung, crucified.
Yeah.
Do y'all know y'all creator take offense to that? I hope y'all know that. How did y'all make something invisible?
Yeah.
It said no carving images.
That's right.
No graven images.
That's right.
Not of the sun, the moon, the stars, or anything on or beneath earth. And here comes an image of God to be killed, hung, crucified,
Yes, sir.
given to the world as to believe that this person is divine.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Anybody who have jumped on that is pleasing a demon. Hold up now, that's why I gotta go back.
And while you're going back, I like to say this right here to reflect on what you just said. Everybody I know, including animals, of flesh, that dies, is going to be a body and bones. The resurrection story of Jesus Christ, it goes to the tomb, no body, no bones. And I was just laying there thinking about that this morning. You know, and everybody I know, my father, when he died, there was a body there. And if you go to it and zoom and dig him back up, brothers and mother-in-law, you're going to find some bones. You're going to find something. But the mysterious of Jesus Christ's resurrection ain't no body, no bones, no nothing. I get it. Mm-hmm. See, that's another trapping trick right there. An animal get killed. Let it lay out there. You know, it's clear. Body and bones. Flesh not let the meat, not let the bone, but you know, skeleton or something.
Mm-hmm. See, that's why they give Jesus Christ the title of God. So now you think God can be killed. This is why I'm saying, what fool and coward sacrifices his own son or daughter? Why would the creator create a story of his own son or daughter getting sacrificed? What would the creator need to prove with that? This is what we're forced to believe as the only book that exists. If we knew the real holy book, we wouldn't even be studying about the fake stories. So that's out of Sufar 61 and on 28. So how could the Son of God be crucified and that please the creator of the universe?
No, sir.
The creator calls that person a fool and a coward who sacrifices his son. So that means that's not the creator's son.
That's right.
That's on the cross. That's the Antichrist son on the cross.
Right on. Come on, get it.
This is how Lucifer made himself God. By making himself man. Do we get it yet?
Oh, yeah.
We are invisible.
Yes, indeed.
The creator is invisible. That's why I speak more. You cannot see your God unless you are pure in heart.
Yeah.
So why would something invisible need to make something visible to sacrifice to prove its invisibility? Look at the universe itself. You don't see the creator, but you see the creator.
You see the creation, the proof.
It says know the visible and you'll know the invisible.
Come on with it.
See, and this is very, very key. See, so all the stories we've been given about Jesus has nothing to do with Islam, because Islam don't do none of that.
That's right.
Now, when you got all these stories, parables, allegories,
Yeah.
it's like you're reading a movie.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's because it's fake.
Script. A script, right on.
So instead of, they took Son of God from what is originally the title of, that's in Christian and Islam, the Son of Man.
Yeah.
That's the original, that's in the original teachings. When the Antichrist gets his hands on it, he turns that into the Son of God, and that's how Jesus Christ is created as the Son of God, and the story goes on. See, as a Son of Man, you know clearly he's not Allah, Sufyan. So he cannot be a deity. So he cannot be a deity. So Christianity holds the Antichrist. And it come right here, 44. Thus, the greatest sin in Islam is for a man to place himself as a god above others. That's what they did with the Son of God. They placed him as a god above others. Remember, you have to pray in his name.
Yeah.
You have to mediate yourself.
Yeah.
He's a middleman for you. Yeah. You not good enough.
Sure enough, ain't. Right on.
You can't even work your way to be that good. So you need a middleman.
That's right.
See, and that's placing a God and a man as one and the same.
Right on. And that refers to the Nation of Islam as well, because they have said that Master Farah Muhammad, who came in the person of God, and nobody else. See, and they got it wrong as well. And I used to always ask all them this question. I said, well, Allah pleases whom he so chooses. Why just one person and not all? But you want to lock us down on one person, and everybody got to repeat this.
That's what's called.
Same as Jesus Christ.
Right. That's how a cult is created.
Okay.
That's what's called a cult.
Okay.
When a man is placed above all others.
Okay.
That's what creates a cult, and that's where you will find the Antichrist. He always got a man above all others.
That's right.
Just like you got the president in the United States, like he's supposed to be above all others.
That's right.
See, this is why you don't hear the word Islam.
Yeah.
Because Islam don't play none of that.
Sure don't.
You're not finna place yourself as a god above me.
Yeah. My goodness.
See, this is why I don't kneel. This is why you should kneel. Ain't no man, ain't no woman a god above you. I don't care if it's a little child. That little child is just as equal as the oldest elder.
Look at that.
See, this is the misconstrued. This is the whole duality why black people can't get along because somebody trying to be above others.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Come on with it.
These concepts that are left over from Christianity, these are deadly concepts.
They are. They are.
The whole society is set up where somebody is above you. You try to get off on your own. Just walk out the job.
Yeah.
And won't see if somebody that's above you come and talk to you or call you or tell you to come to them.
That's right.
Why is always an authority over you?
Yeah.
Where's people that just want to be free and equal?
Right on. Right on.
I don't know if we get it yet.
Oh.
Is there somebody above you that you answer to?
Yeah.
See, this is why people don't want Islam, because you don't answer to no one but the divine creator.
Right on. Mm-hmm.
This is why they jealous of Islam.
Yeah.
Because ain't no knee getting bent
Mm-hmm.
for no man or no woman.
Yeah.
If we ain't all equal, just as the divine creator said, not as men say.
Mm-hmm.
No one is above the law of Allah.
Mm-hmm.
All are equal.
Look at that.
Do that mean anybody above? That right there means God himself ain't even above you.
Mm-hmm.
So if y'all want to take anything outside of Islam, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that you are subordinate.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like equal or equality,
yeah,
then Islam is for you.
Mm-hmm.
I self-law.
And we can bear witness when it comes down to that word equality. Once upon a time, you wasn't even equal. And they made sure that because the white supremacy taught that and made sure of that. And then when they select presidents of the country, they put them above you. And now you got to bow down to them. And now this is why most of every sporting event that you got to sing a certain song. You got to bow down to the flag and pledge allegiance to a flag. And you got to bow down to what they call the president signing the executive order. That's the devil. And now you got to follow all the orders. Now look what they're doing to our people right now with all these old signatures. Just a signature alone. And they say certain words like executive order. Now you got to bow down to it. I get the blow. And they Christian doing this here.
And that's why in Islam, riches is an educated mind.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody with the educated mind doing anything what we just said. Try me with an educated mind and just see what your response be.
Right on, son.
You need real-time effect. Try me in real time and you will see the effect. I already died to the world. Who saved me is in me. If I ain't bow down to the gunman, well, I don't know what you think I'm gonna bow down to you for. He was shoot me in the head. So that's why the divine creator got me on the scene, to bring this truth because it is what it is. Ain't no change. We've been lied to.
Oh, yes.
And if we don't stand up,
Yes,
you want the Antichrist to stand up for you?
yes, indeed.
I've seen what he did to all my ancestors.
Right on, me too.
From limbs to inside of their head. He don't give a damn diddly white squat about our kind. Say, stand up. Stand up, all who claim to follow the path of Islam. Because we talking about the righteous. We tired of seeing the wicked winning.
I heard that.
We tired of seeing ignorance. That is enough. Number 6. This to the white men right here. Let not white men believe they can be wiser than the law of Allah.
Come on with it. Come on with it.
That's my belief. I don't believe no white man, no white boy, no white girl.
Come on with it.
And this is no disrespect.
Right on.
But none of y'all ain't wiser than the law of Allah.
Come on with it.
Make your guns, bump your metals, fly your
Yes,
metals,
sir.
burn them, melt them, to
Yes,
make
sir.
bullets to harm others. You still ain't wiser.
Right on.
Make internet, make computers,
Right
make
on.
cars,
Come
make
on with
self-driving AI. You still ain't
Come
wiser
on with
than
it.
the law of my creator.
Come on with it. That's the beautiful truth. Beautiful truth.
You not leading his existence. The creator leads his own existence. No, all Sufyan ain't following anything lesser than greater. There's nothing greater than the divine creator of all things. See, they told us that we just must obey.
Yeah. Slave, obey your master.
But they didn't tell us that that wasn't law. That the only law is the first law. And the first law is divine law. And that's what's called the law of Allah. We can't have two laws with one creator. The one creator made one law and said all are equal. So sun is equal to the moon, day is equal to night, ground is equal to sky. Everything is in equal proportion by the creator. Ain't no division. Ain't no little ones, little twos. We all the one. Come from the one. Ain't no separation. All is equal. So this is why we got to get to the next part about the next thing of the Jews. The Jews love duality. They love creating two selves. This is what they did to us by giving us a Bible. Within that Bible, you now created two selves. Now you can die and go to hell, or you can live and go to heaven. Oh, it's creating two selves. Now, if you read in the Bible, it tell you the spirit war against the flesh. That creates two cells. The creator don't war against himself. The creator spirit is not at war with the flesh that we are. Our creator created our flesh. This is our gift to know our creator loves us. Say that again. This is our gift to know our creator loves us. Now, why you throw your created gift down for some pale foot? At the bottom, it's a pale foot. You better off doing rakats to the earth than the foot of man. Our body is a gift. Your body is a gift to be respected. First of all, you don't supposed to just be throwing anything inside of it.
Right on. How about that?
But then we talking about on the outside of it, you should never be seen bound down to no lesser with your body.
Right.
Working on lesser things with your body. You are a great being. With your body, you janiting, cleaning up everything but your own heart and mind. And this is what the Creator gave to you for you to love, praise, and respect what He gave you. The person you argue with and give you a body. The person you argue with didn't gift you a mind. See, this is what that Antichrist, that counter spirit. The Antichrist. It tells you different. It says your body is a sin.
Born a sinner.
But now this make it cleaner where it said the temple. Your temple, your body is your temple. How a caretaker take care of the temple, that's how you a caretaker of your own body. What the Creator asks from you is when you honor your body in its cleanliness, not it's dressed all up. How clean is your body? This is how you honor the divine Creator who gave it to you. Who gave it to you? Who gave it to you? IRS, FBI, FDA, IMF, Treasury. They didn't give you nobody. And guess what else the Creator gifted us? Our mind. These are the gifts that Allah has given to you. Your flesh and your mind. This is what's called you own your own life. You the owner of your life. Not no contract, not no company, not no bill of $1, not no bill in Congress. Not no paper with your name on it.
Yes, indeed.
You, the life itself, not the thing on the paper, not the letters on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
You, the living being. Say self blew into flesh, and the flesh became a living being.
Holy breath.
Holy breath. This is a gift, and this is how we repay our Creator. The highest form of right a man may be given is the right of divine use. Y'all, this is why I can only say it's going to be ugly for people who let the Creator be treated like this. When you got a mind and flesh, you know to let other people run you, rule over you, tell you what to do, when to do it. This is a disgrace to the divine Creator. Divine Creator gave you the right of divine, gave you the right. But divine, you say you ain't be using it, you let somebody else use your right. You give your body to the coroner.
Yeah.
You give your body to the hospital. You didn't give yourself bones. You donate.
Yeah. Donate your heart.
See, these are precious things. See, people want to be, this is what I mean, like Antichrist has created a whole system where you feel bad if I don't want to share a living organ of mine with you.
Yeah.
When you had the same 24 hours, same will, but you didn't take care of yours. This is the Antichrist. You don't want to die now. No, go ahead and leave. It's that time.
Don't be with you.
That's right. When it's your time, it's your time.
Yeah.
This is why it's a gift. You're supposed to enjoy it, not abuse it. So there ain't more warnings left.
Yeah. And I thought about what you said about time. Well, if you sick, and the story said that Jesus Christ died for the sins of the world, you shouldn't want to prolong your life. You should want to go on and die with your Savior. If that be the case. But don't nobody want to die. They want to stay. They want a heart transplant. They want a kidney transplant. They want everything they can get to stay alive, and they ain't living right, and they still living wicked, and they want to stay. I know what it is. They want to stick around where they can do more wicked. That's all. I get it, bro. Well, they ain't living the truth, so they want to stick around so they can do more evil. What else it can be?
This is what the Sufyan says. They want to sit around, do more. This is what the Sufyan call it right here. They want to worship ignorance. They want to do more so they can keep worshiping ignorance. This is the scary thing right here, because you're gonna worship. Yeah, you can't get around it. See, it's a question here. Did you respect knowledge, or did you worship ignorance? See, this is a choice of you, because warnings, knowledge, truth, everything came. Even when you were sincere in your heart, crying out, and the Creator felt your purity and intention and gave you exactly what you want. and then you act like you don't respect that knowledge. You rather go off that and start worshiping ignorance. See, this is the tragedy of people.
Yeah.
The tragedy of people, they not consistent in respect.
That's right.
If they don't respect themselves, they gonna eventually disrespect you. Someone who's always constantly respecting themselves, how are they gonna offend you?
That's correct.
They're gonna be respectful to you. Being rude, that's worshiping ignorance. Being respectful is worshiping knowledge. We got a choice as we get ready to bring this beautiful meeting to a closure.
Viewers will have to say after this. Handwriting on the wall. Handwriting on the street. Oh, I had to see.
Oh, I
But
see.
more you need to see.
See, in Islam does not force upon your free will.
Sure does.
The divine creator of all existence does not force himself upon your free will. See, this is why all this happened. Because it is your choice to honor your creator. So if we don't make the choice, who gonna make the choice for us? If you don't make the choice, who gonna make the choice for you? This is how the devil been playing on his playground by making this Bible. Such ignorance. This whole thing that they gave us, the whole Bible is a false concept. Such ignorance is the playground of demons.
Look at it.
This is why they playing on your land.
That's right. We can see it.
They ain't getting taxed. You getting taxed by demons. These ain't virtue righteous people. Respecting Islam. These are anti-Islam called anti-Christ.
That's right.
In the name of Christianity. They almost doing it openly. Yeah. And this how much ignorance that they have put in the people. That now the people allow such ignorance to become the playground of demons.
High price, high tax, high everything. That ain't never. Frank James, Jesse James still live. That's right.
It's for real.
They were robbers.
They were robbers. Yes.
Legalized robbers.
Yep, legalized robbers. Through the Bible. This is what made everything is unlawful. If we realize, like I've already realized, if the only law is the law of Allah, everything else is null and void. Right. Only thing that's giving them power is your belief in what they saying.
Yeah.
Once you got the holy book, the Al Sufyan, you ain't hearing none of that no more. The fake gonna be fake. But the real, this ain't nothing new. This something true. We all gonna die. I'm just gonna die in dignity.
Me too. Live a lie and die a lie.
Yeah. Don't sound too good. Yeah, there's a little short piece, and then we're gonna be out. You never heard of the Epistle of Milan, have you?
Look at that.
That was the original name, you see, before they called it the Book of Revelation.
Look at that.
This is how you know you got a whole corrupted form called the King James Version.
Look at that.
Since this is another book ascribed to Jesus Christ, we're going to make sure this is an awareness too.
Yeah.
The Canon 5926, the Epistle of Milan, also falsely known as the Edict of Milan, issued in 313, is the first epistle created in the history of Christianity. Next canon, the Epistle of Milan is also the most famous legal pronouncement in civilized history in presenting the moral and legal framework for the abolition of all forms of slavery, and ensuring that the very core of Christianity, all forms of slavery, were to be considered an abomination, heresy, crime, and wicked transgression.
Goodness alive. And you mean to tell me that they had the audacity to draw the Constitution, and the ones who draw the Constitution up on it and had slaves and knew that?
And do this. This before even Constantine. See, this would have been the first book of the Bible. If everything was in its original place and everything, this would have been the first book of the Bible. But you see, it's not. It's pushed to the last book. So now the thing that's obliterating slavery, all forms of wickedness, to make this world a better place, is pushed at the last book now.
Goodness gracious.
So you may not ever get to it.
No. Ain't no wonder you ain't heard of it. So that's gonna mess them up.
Right. So here it comes. The Epistle of Milan, now known as the first 11 chapters of the book of Revelation, has been horrendously corrupted with the false Mithraic and satanic beliefs of the Khazars.
Ooh, you have bust they bubble today.
Inserted into the text in direct contradiction to its original message.
Good. You done bust they bubble.
So all books of the New Testament ascribed to Jesus as read word is not his words.
Look at that. A liar's revelation.
A liar's revelation. That's a beautiful one right there. A liar's revelation. That's exactly what we was given as the King James authorized. Now we see why it's called authorized.
Yeah.
The author of our own destruction will be eventually ourselves.
Yeah.
We would pick these things up. We would believe them.
Yeah.
We would tell our children to believe them. We would never produce what we were supposed to produce, which was the good education, which is Islam.
Yes, indeed.
Not the Antichrist.
Yeah.
This is why people are dying, getting fat, leaving because of health,
Oh boy.
Because
So
the
fat people don't-
anti-Christ teach you the law is dead.
Yeah.
That law I just put on the screen, that no one is wiser than the law of Allah. They say that law is dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
They say don't read the Old Testament. The law is dead.
I was told that.
Paul have saved you.
Yes.
The Antichrist has saved you through grace.
Cricket.
So I hope that was much wisdom and much love.
Beautiful and clear as day. Sunshine.
Yes.
Make it cloudy after that. That's only.
That's right. Hey, Islam is love, and Islam is eternal love, and Islam is love divine. We're going to close our meeting in the name of the Al-Fatiha, according to the Al-Sufyan. As-Salam, Islam, Al-Sufyan.